I've got a challenge for you. Let's say we roll a musical dice and it lands and plays the note A. These vibrations now travel through the air and vibrate your eardrums, which your ear detects as sound. Sound is a vibration that propagates as a longitudinal wave. The red dots and arrows here show individual particle motion. The black arrow shows the motion of a wave as the compression of particles moves through the medium. However, these vibrations need to be at a certain speed for us to hear them. For example, we can't hear the slow vibrations made by waving our hands in the air. The number of vibrations per second is an object's frequency measured in hertz. The slowest vibration human ears can hear is 20 Hz, while the fastest is 20,000 Hz. Cats can hear even higher, while bats can hear up to 110,000 Hz. As we can see, there is an exponential relationship between pitch and the frequency of the sound wave. Now back to that note A the dice landed on. A4 has a frequency of 440 Hz. Think of some number between 1 and 2, which we'll call R. I'll play a second musical note whose frequency is R times the frequency of our first note, 440 Hz. Here comes our challenge. You'll need to use only maths to decide whether a given ratio R will sound musical or not without listening to the notes. If you pick the ratio R to be 1, 1.25, 1.5 or 2, great news. These two notes sound good together, but for others like the square root of 2, they sound dissonant. One way to approach this challenge, especially if you're a fan of Pythagoras, would be to deduce that two notes sound musical together when the ratio is a rational number and dissonant when irrational. However, with more analysis, you may find that most other rational numbers actually sound pretty bad, like 211 is to 198 or 1093 is to 826. The issue is that these rational numbers are more complicated. In fact, if we look at this chart of all the musical intervals in the Western 12-note scale, we see a pattern. The most consonant interval is the unison with the simplest value of R, 1:1. The next most consonant an octave with the second most simple ratio, 1:2, and so on. What about those complicated ratios like 45:32 or 15:8? Well, the most complicated ratio there is 45:32. The interval of the tritone has even been named the devil's interval on account of its jarring sound. But it's not all bad news. The tritone is used greatly in alarms and emergency sirens. Evidently, simplicity in this ratio seems to be the key. I hope this video could demonstrate how music, one of our most ancient traditions, is both quantifiable and emotional, both mathematical and moving.